It's Christmas Day here in the UK, and if you're a Beyer dynamic fan, maybe Santa's got something for you. M300, M400, M500, M600, M700, M88, M900. Maybe not. I don't know what I'm going to do a bit of jazz because it's Christmas. I think I'm just going to go with it. M300, all tangled up. Hopefully you can see. The camera tends to like my face and focuses on that. Don't know why. It's got bad taste. Hope you can see it. All of the examples I've got are pristine condition. Well, this one had foam, rotted, but it changed it. Beyer foam. Quite light. And I got this. I used it on gigs and I just thought it's fun. Let's go straight to it. Earthworks SV33 going off. Here it is. Oh, first thing we notice is a handling noise. Second thing I notice is a little bit coarse and edgy up there. But it's got it's quite fun. It's got a lot of bottom end and a little bit of a top end. Now, if I'd been more prepared. Had a bit of a moment there. If we look at this frequency, you can kind of hear it a little bit ragged at the top there. There's some peaks that seem to be, don't know, sort of almost random. But there's a definite lift up there. And then you can see the proximity effect when I bring it in. So actually, yeah, I found it quite fun. Well, I found a little bit of feedback on that. I have to be careful of that because of that stuff at the top there. But I found it to be quite fun. What I'm going to do is just swap it straight for an SM58 because I think this is a low end, I believe. This was one of their cheapest at the time. And this is an issue. Bit of a shame because it makes it feel cheap when you hear that. It's like a plastic mic or something. It's not, it's aluminium. But so you'd have to be a bit careful fiddling about. Yeah, it is a bit of a shame because actually I quite like it. It's quite fun. SM58. And this is the SM58. Yeah. I don't know. It's not the other one's more brightly lit, I think, than this. It's got some handling noise as well, but it's lower down. SM58 does okay. Back on the 300. I think it's just a little bit more fun, a bit more bandwidth. So that's the 300. Next up is the 400. 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 Some handling noise as well. These are quite old mics, and maybe the suspension has hardened. Don't know, but Beyer Dynamic did have a Beyer Dynamic. Some people say the handling noise can be more than with other mics, so maybe you have to be a little bit careful. On the 400, on the 400, on the 300, on the 300. So the 300, a bit more of that, and maybe the bottom end not so clear. Bottom end not so clear. Bottom end a bit clearer. Yeah, it's a bit more sophisticated sounding, isn't it? The 400. Very nice mic, actually. Let's get the frequency for that. What I notice, similar to the 300, the top end not quite so extreme, if you like. And you can see the proximity coming in quite a long way up, round about it's quite its peak around 150 hertz. Yeah. So I think very nicely managed. Oh. Now onto the ribbon, the M500. I like it. There's a bit more at the top there, and still quite sweet. Looking at the graph, again, quite a lift at the top, a broader kind of lift, and a long sweep with the proximity coming in. There's a long sweep where it's very nice. There. I find it very nice. Back on the 33 just to refresh our ears. Here I am on the SV33. Much flatter. I can hear the room because it's cardioid but quite wide. Back on the 500. 500's nice. I've been using these. I like it. I like the warmth. I like the detail up there of this ribbon. So I've got 3 more to go. I've got 3 spare channels, so I'm going to swap these mics out and do the next 3. Oh, actually, before I do that, I'm not going to be able to do this, am I? So this is the M500. I like it. This is the M500. This is the M400. This is the M400. This is the M500. This is the M500. This is the M400. This is the M400. This is the M33. 300. This is the M300. This is the SM58. This is the SM58. Okay, I've put the next 3 on and kind of balanced them up. And this one is the, I didn't show you some of the others, did I? This one is the, hopefully it focus, the M600. Quite an elegant mic, quite long, quite large. Compared to an SM58. Aluminium, I think, again, or some kind of an alloy. This is the M600. This is the M600. Nice bit of warmth down there. I should have prepared this, but I haven't, but I'll do it now. M600 coming up. Well, a long rise in the treble, but I don't really hear it. It's sweet, even that. They did say it's got a very light diaphragm. I think Hostafan or something they used, or a Mylar or something. And what about the low end? It's got, oh, this one's got switches. Well, they don't show the proximity there, which is nice. It's okay. This one's very nice. Very nice, actually. The switches do various things. I think it's varying degrees of bass roll-off, which I can do without. But anyway, very nice mic. Yeah, a little firm there, but not too bad. That's the M600. Show you the, I'm on the 33 speaking. This is the M700, which they made quite a big deal of. I think it was about, it's equivalent today of about £350, which is a lot for a dynamic, if you do this sort of inflation thing. This is the M700 then. Let's get the frequency going on that. Immediately, what I hear immediately is I can hear a lot at the top. I can hear quite a bit of lower down, lower down. Prodigious proximity, so needs, yeah, just got the graph up. So again, we can see a long rise to the treble, peaking at around 10 kilohertz. And again, with the proximity, you can see it starts fairly early and goes way down. So you need to learn how to use this microphone. Again, the foam had gone in this, all the foams had gone, but I've got a Beyer foam, which fits. I don't know if there's differences between them. So there we go, that's the M700. It's maybe a little bit scooped with a normal position. Maybe a little bit scooped, maybe a little bit scooped, maybe a little bit, because you can hear that top all the time. Maybe a little bit scooped, maybe a little bit when you bring it in, then you get more of the bass, but there's kind of maybe the middle is missing a little. Compared to the Earthworks. Earthworks is much firmer. Earthworks, if I get closer, then is still much firmer, even though you've got the bass down there. 700 again. 700, yeah, something a little bit hollow, isn't there, about it? M700. Again, to be a little bit careful with that. Onto the M88. I immediately noticed a ooh, ooh, ooh on the M88. Nice and sweet at the tops. But I also noticed a little bit of a push there. Having a look at the graph. Again, yeah, quite a lot of a rise, isn't there, from about, is it 10K? Just above it starts a long, broad sweep. I wonder if that's that little peak above 5, 6, 7, 6 and 7 kilohertz. Long, broad sweep, goes very high, again with a very light diaphragm. Bringing it in, this one's got formidable, excusez-moi, has got a formidable proximity. So let's do switch between these as best I can. Handling noise again, need to be a little bit careful. It's quite low. This is the M88. This is the M700. M700. So yes, I'm aware of that slight, what appears to be slightly lacking in perhaps the lower mid. Back on the M88. I do like the M88. Trouble with all these things, you get used to them. And then so I'm going to use this again as a reference. So I'm on the 33. Now I'm on the M88. It's got a little bit of warmth to it. I do like it. Now I'm on the M700. If you've got the headphones, you'll hear that through all of it. That's with my voice, mind. M700, and if I can quickly. And this is the M600. M600, which is very evenly balanced. This is the 33, sounds a bit louder. This is the 33. This is the 33. And this is the M600. I like it. So what I'm going to do next, I think I'm going to see if I can... Oh, all right. May as well. This one I believe is supercardioid, 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 supercardioid. Bit of a lobe there, supercardioid, more rejection there on the axis. That's what supercardioid is meant to do. M700, noisy as you can hear. Supercardioid as well, I believe. Supercardioid, supercardioid, huge rejection there, supercardioid, and then some rather more leakage there. Supercardioid, supercardioid, supercardioid. Now I don't remember. It's nice. I like this one. It took me a while to get. Don't go buying them up now, innit? Because I want a couple more. Or maybe I don't. M600 super, I think supercardioid. Let's see. I think supercardioid. Certainly a lot of rejection there. I think supercardioid, and certainly a bit of leakage there. Supercardioid. So you know, supercardioid is tight round there, but allows some in there. The idea being that if you're like this, that monitors will probably be to the side and the main speakers to the side. So if you sacrifice a bit of rejection directly in front, you're okay. That was the idea. Coming back down, I'm going to have to adjust levels on the fly because they're all slightly different, so I'm just going to use my ears as I go. This is the M500. The M500. Coming round to the side, coming round to the side, coming round to the side, rejection there, coming round to the side. And there seems to be leakage there. So this one feels like it's supercardioid. I can't remember what it is. This is the M400. This is the M400. Nice microphone coming around to the side, rejection. Quite some rejection there, rejection. I'm suspecting cardioid. I think it is. I'm suspecting. Round to the back, round to the back, round to the back, round to the back, round to the side, round to the side, round to the side. And this is the M300. Coming round to the side, coming round to the side, coming round to the side, coming round to the side. And I'm pretty sure that, let's not drop them on the floor, shall we? Pretty sure this one's a noisy little beast, so you have to be careful. That this one's cardioid. May as well do pops and S's. I'll go back through. Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper picked. It's got quite an edgy top end anyway. Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper, not bad. M400. Peter Piper picked a peck. 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 Not bad either. M500. M500 is nice, man. I wonder why they stopped. They haven't stopped. They've got the V96. The V90R. It's just that part for me. Something around there. Peter Piper picked. Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper picked a peck. And it seems to be sweet and defined up there. Sweet and defined. Moving on to the M600, which I do like. 600, which Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper picked a peck. Sweet and smooth up there. It's a nice microphone. Peter Piper picked a peck. They're all roughly the same from what I can hear. M700, which I'm going to have to boost a little. M700 is a little bit less output, I've found. Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper picked a peck. Very good considering it goes very low. Peter Piper picked a peck. Sweetish, a little bit, maybe a little bit edgy, and a little bit exaggerated up there. And again, but you can use it for, yeah, see if the bass drops off, then you get much more of that. So there, I bring it in. Can you hear just there, 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 there. So with this microphone, I've noticed still left a bit exposed, depends on your PA. We'll bring it a bit closer still. So it changes the tone there, that's quite nice. The balance, if I bring it closer still, maybe if I want low notes, then I'm going to bring in low notes, low notes, low notes. It's this one you kind of need to very much in control of the tone with the way you move it. And this is the M800, sounds a bit louder. Peter Piper picked a peck. Peter Piper picked a peck. Ooh, got to be a little bit careful there because of it's got to go so low. Peter, and the proximity as well. Peter Piper picked a peck. Quite extended, quite extended, quite extended. You can hear that treble lift. Hear that treble lift. I do wonder with all these shapes. I mean, it may have been that these are stage mics, and I had a Fender. I've got a couple of Fender PA100 valve amps from like the 60s, 70s, and they had some really nice looking speakers that came with them. That was a PA of the day. And what I noticed from having bought them and restored them as best I could, it's a no-no. They just had 4 8-inch cones in each of the columns. They look great. 4 8-inch cones. So what's that going to do? So no bass, and obviously not much in the way of treble. You could get these horn units. The fact that they made the horn units available gives you a sign. So I think what it might be is that back in the day, the extremes for PAs were weak. The low end was weak, and also probably the top end for being simply being able to be heard. If you had sort of rockish and pop music or any sort of din, that's the area that's going to get you heard. So maybe the mics have this shape because using them with the PAs of the day, it made sense. But I kind of find now, I use it fine. I use them, but with the modern PA systems, with their horns can be a bit nasty, but horns have improved over the years. I don't know if you need that shape, do you? Because everybody's hunting the same area. I mean, even the PAs tend to push that area. Most of the processors you get, vocal processors, they've got that presence thing going on. Everybody's after the presence. I can't see, just not very musical to my ears. So that might be historically why these mics tend to have all these peaks, not just Beyer, but nearly all of them. And maybe it's time now for a little bit less of that, I'm thinking. Don't know. Anyway, hope that might have been at least interesting. And one more time, I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Be seeing you.